James Gunn's DCU reboot should be coming out at the end of this year. It will be much better than the DCEU because James Gunn understands how to adapt comic books to film better than most. I'm just going to come out and say it. I think the DCEU was mostly a failed endeavor at bringing the Justice League characters to the big screen, and I have more hope for James Gunn's DCU. So what did I not like about the DCEU? Well, pretty much everything, except Wonder Woman 1 and 2 and James Gunn's Suicide Squad. The reason I like those films over the others is because they knew how to ride the line between fantasy and realism. I think Man of Steel and Batman v Superman took themselves way too seriously. They were the setup for the DCEU, and as a result, all of the movies afterward were stuck being compared to their tone. Aquaman and Wonder Woman were able to achieve a nice balance where, yes, it's a bit fantastical, but I think that helps to make a good comic book movie for all ages, and it's grounded enough to make it enjoyable for adult audiences. This is the difficulty with making modern comic book movies. When earlier comic book movies were being made back in the 90s and 2000s, it was okay to come off as campy or fantastical. Back then, they were mainly seen as kids' movies. Cut to today's day, and when you are trying to make a superhero movie for the whole family, it needs to ride that line of fantastical, but not absurd, and dramatic, but not traumatic. Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is a perfect example of this. I think that's why it's pretty much universally enjoyed. It is realistic enough to feel grounded, but fantastical enough that it is a fun movie. Gunn has typically done more mature movies, but they do fall heavily on the fantastical side. The Batman movie by Matt Reeves in 2022 has become by far my favorite Batman movie ever made for its extremely grounded approach. Gunn has stated that movies outside the tone of the DCU will have their own DC Elseworlds association, and I think that is the perfect place to explore more heavily grounded and realistic stories within the comic book genre. Having a fantastical comic book movie allows more comic book stories to be told if we can remember how to enjoy movies again. Not every movie can be grounded in the same way that the Batman or the Joker can. The MCU had early success because Iron Man was grounded similar to Batman. Tony Stark is just a man in the same way Bruce Wayne is just a man. Thor is sort of like an MCU Superman, but instead of trying to be grounded, it actually leans into the fantastical. And all of the Thor movies have a lot more fantastical elements than other MCU movies. Captain America actually shares a lot of similarities with Wonder Woman. They are both fighters in world wars and have a fish out of water kind of humor from coming from older time periods. So really, I think Superman, Flash, and Shazam were the main problems with the DCEU. Superman tried to be too grounded, while Flash and Shazam were overly fantastical. We will have to wait and see if James Gunn can create a tasteful balance, but as for now, I am pretty hopeful about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.